Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of Wire2Wire Sports Podcast. I'm the NFL genius, Gene Walls. To my left, I got Kent State's own, Cleveland's own, college Cut Show.
Gene, how you feeling, man? I feel like we had a good bracket so far. March Madness has been kind of crazy. I know we're going to get into the tournament, but I know you were off. How'd you enjoy the first slate of games there?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. That's what I was about to get into. I think March Madness has lost its luster.
That is a interesting take there.
I'll put it this way, right? What are you looking forward to more tomorrow? Round 2 of the March Madness tournament or opening day baseball?
I would say opening day of baseball, but I also think that the conversation is really going to be about like Cinderella's not being there. Like, and I understand that. But at the same time, though, I feel like we got a great slate of basketball games during the first and second round of the tournament. So like, I look at it like I ultimately want good basketball. The Cinderella stories are fun, and it does suck that they're not as prevalent as they once were. But like at the same time, like we had so many great basketball games that I don't want to say that March Madness has lost its luster yet.
It's completely lost its luster. I can watch good basketball all the time, and don't take this the wrong way. I just have to watch the SEC play. I just have to watch the Big Ten Conference play. I can watch good basketball. What I like to see is Golke and fucking Jack Golke just going nuts from nobody you ever heard of. I like to see CJ McCollum and Sienna beating Duke in the tournament. Like, I like to see shit like that. I'll tell you right now, Thursday was fun. Friday was awful. Terrible. It's terrible.
See, I just can't agree with you on that.
The first time since 1991, every favorite won. Every favorite won. First time since 1991. Every favorite won. Did you know that?
I did see that was the case there, but like, let's also talk about kind of how we got there, though. Like, not necessarily saying that Santa Clara was a Cinderella by any means, but I mean, a half court 3 going in for Kentucky to win as a favorite, like that's good basketball to me. Like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Call them a favorite all you want. They were 2.5-point favorite. Like, they weren't a favorite. They were like, yeah, of course, they're a favorite. But that's a 7-10. 8-9, 7-10. You expect good matchups. What I miss is 12-5. What I miss is 11-6. What I miss is 13-4. And you got it. You got it with one game. And by the way, we all can admit the best game in the first round was outside the Kentucky game. I'm talking about like not the 8-9, not the 7-10, was High Point. And what High Point did in that game, number 99 coming off the bench, kid hasn't made a 2-point basket all year, hits the game-winning layup on a steal. That's magic. That is what we tune in for, bro. And we're not getting that anymore. We're getting high-powered teams winning by 40. And listen, you could say there was good matchups. Absolutely. If you put 32 basketball games on at the LA Fitness, I'm going to find 10 good matchups. 32 matchups, you're going to find good games. It's going to happen. And Florida's coach should be drug out. Like, I know they won a national championship last year, but that is the worst coaching down the stretch I've ever seen in my life. Control, I mean this when I say this, right? I won't tell you my take. You're up 2. You're Florida. You're playing Iowa. You're losing the whole game. You're up 2. Iowa's got the ball. 9 seconds left. What's your play?
You're up 2?
What's your play? You're up 2. That's the situation.
Right. I mean, you're running everybody off the 3-point line.
Bro, I'm playing a 5 wall at the 3-point line. I'm not full court pressing. I'm not doing anything. Bro, he full court pressed. The point guard got ahead of the pack. They had a 3-on-2 break. And then if that happens, then I'm fouling. Because I get the ball with 4 seconds if he makes both free throws with an opportunity to win the game. I cannot lose in regulation if I'm up 2 with 9 seconds left. Cannot happen. You cannot let that happen, especially if you're the better team. If you're the better team in the basketball game, you have to figure out a way to not lose that basketball game in regulation. And what they did was they trailed, and when you trail, it creates a odd man rush, and you cannot have an odd man break when you're up 2 for your season on the line.
I agree completely. I think, Florida was in a spot where definitely questionable coaching there. I wasn't necessarily a fan of that. And funny enough, kind of same deal. And what we saw in the Kansas and St. John's game is that, Bill Self, I thought he did a masterful job of utilizing his fouls before getting into the bonus there. But at the same time, though, I think once it's 3.4 seconds, I understand wanting to put pressure. You don't want them to just get a clean look and clean, drive to the basket there. But at the same time, momentum is real there. And I feel like just, again, knowing the situation and knowing how much time is on the clock, you have to know I need some help defense on the backside if this ultimately happens there. But B, the number one priority would have been to stop don't foul, stop the basketball. There would have been there should have been absolutely no way that you let the kid get all the way downhill and get a layup to win the basketball game. Like, that's insane.
The crazy part of that is, did you hear Patino talking about that play?
I didn't know.
He didn't have a point.
I did, and I saw that. He didn't score all game.
He walked in the huddle and he goes, let's run this. And it's basically a high screen and roll for him. And he's like, the kid had the balls that called for the ball and didn't have a point in the game. And it was like the Philly special, bro. It's like, yeah.
Why not?
I mean, bro, that's balls. That's March. High point is March. And, we'll talk about it in Hot Wire. We're about to get into it. But North Carolina blowing a 20-point second half lead is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I don't care if you're missing your best player. You're up 20. You have 4 5-star kids all around you. You cannot blow a 20-point lead in the second half of a basketball game.
But, there's a reason why all of us picked VCU on the show last week. So, at the end of the day, we kind of knew it was happening. But, with that said, you want to just go ahead and get right on into Hot Wire here?
Real quick, before you do that, right? I want to play a game with you.
Okay.
We know Friday was a dud, but I'll get into Friday in a minute. Duke Siena, dud or not a dud?
Dud.
You said that was a dud? I thought I was going to give you that as a close game. Duke was on upset alert the whole game.
They were. I just thought you were going to go because Duke won is what I thought you were getting at with it. I enjoyed the game.
I'm asking you, dud or not dud?
Okay. Yeah, no, not a dud for me. For me, not a dud.
One. Michigan over Howard. That was a dud, right?
Howard kept it close for 30 minutes.
Bro. All right.
What?
We're 1-1. Houston, Idaho.
Howard didn't keep that game close for 30 minutes?
Okay, they did for 23 minutes. And then Michigan took over. Never was losing the game. Houston, Idaho, which is dud, right?
Dud, yes.
Michigan State over North Dakota State, dud, right?
Dud.
Illinois over Penn, dud, right?
Dud.
It's 4-1. Gonzaga, Kennesaw, that was a good game. Gonzaga was ahead the whole game, but Kennesaw kept it close. I'll give you that if you want to go into
dud. Sure. Argument's sake, yeah.
No dud, right?
No dud, sure.
Nebraska over Troy, dud. Arkansas over Hawaii, dud. High Point, Wisconsin, incredible. That's 3. McNeese versus Vanderbilt, good game. I'll go not dud. McNeese kept it close.
For sure.
Louisville, South Florida, not a dud. VCU, North Carolina, not a dud. Texas, BYU, not a dud. So now we're even. Texas A&M over St. Mary's. We'll go not a dud, right? Ohio State, TCU, not a dud, right?
Yep.
St. Louis, Georgia, dud. So on Thursday, we had a couple games that weren't duds. Watch this, bro. This is embarrassing. Arizona won by 40. Florida won by 50. Iowa State won by 35. Purdue won by 35. UConn beat Furman. Never really in jeopardy, but by 11. Virginia beat Wright State by 10. That was not a dud. Wright
it was
State
not. They were in danger. Yep.
Alabama won by 20. Kansas beat Cal Baptist. That was not it. It was never a game. I don't care if it's 68-60. Kansas was up 27, and Cal Baptist made it look really close at the end for no reason. That was a dud of a game. Texas Tech won by 20. St. John's by 25. Tennessee by 22. Kentucky Santa Clara. There's your one game. UCLA UCF was good too. So that's 2. Miami over Missouri. I guess that was good, but Miami pulled away late. Utah State Villanova. That was hilarious. And then Iowa Clemson. There's 12 friggin' duds on Friday. 12. Shall has March Madness lost its luster?
No, because I would argue I wouldn't. I'm assuming you're saying the round one was a little bit of a disappointment compared to past years.
The whole court.
For 2 years I would argue it made up for it in
the second round.
I would argue it made up for it in the second day. I think there was some.
Not the second round.
There was definitely some matchups that I think even us and a lot of people thought were going to be a lot closer. I'll give you that. But I don't know, man. I for a standalone sporting event, I still think it's the best thing going.
I think for the last 2 years, March Madness's opening weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, has stunk.
I also think we got some bad matchups. Like I think Miami of Ohio, I'm not saying that they're like world beaters or anything like that, but Miami of Ohio went up against a Tennessee team who is, I mean, absolutely incredible. Like there's a reason why Tennessee's still playing right now. So like I think those matchups like in this year is just kind of a little bit odd in that sense because Tennessee in reality shouldn't be on the 6th line. Like if Tennessee plays to their potential, Tennessee is a 3 or 4 all day long. You know what I mean? So like I just think like the teams that you're kind of looking to move on like in that spot, they went up against some juggernauts. Like you talk about St. John's getting the blowout in the first round. Like St. John's is a really good team that moved on. And I think the mid majors this year, High Point obviously got the win there. And that was against the good Wisconsin team who really had it rolling going into the tournament. But outside of that, like a lot of the top teams have just been really good this year. Like I don't know. I think it's a matchup thing too.
Love it, Ed. March Madness should be renamed to March Mediocrity. I'm with it. I'm co-signing that, but there's one more thing before we get into Hot Wire that I will not let die. I will give this man his roses. He needs to have them right now. A guy, I became a fan of a player. And wherever he goes in the NBA, I will be a fan of him. I'll probably find his card when he gets drafted. He's probably going to be a late first-round draft pick, maybe early second. Hopefully he goes back to school for another year. Tyler Tanier of Vanderbilt earned a fan this weekend. That kid, and if he hit that three-pointer, it was so, man, you felt for him. He was hitting everything down the stretch. He willed his team to be in that game, and it looked like that half quarter was going in. And it goes backboard, rim, out. Tyler Tanier, that kid looks so wholesome. He reminds me of Jarrett McCain in a sense, like not like obviously like different style of play, but like very wholesome, big smile, not a complainer. Loved him.
He's a kid that obviously, to your point, I think has great perspective already of where he is and what he's doing. And you know how much of I want to call it a special run, but I mean that's the first really good Vanderbilt team in a long time. So you know I think him realizing not getting lost in the moment, not making too much of it, like you said, just kind of being humbled and grounded, and yeah, I mean that's the way you want it to be.
That's just not true. Transfer portal, I agree. Transfer portal, I agree with. NIL deals, one and done kids, they have not drastically changed. We've had one and done kids for 20 plus years at this point. NIL deals, you still have the top kids signing at the top school. So it's not like NIL has changed the course of
incorrect. I'll argue for Ed.
Transfer portal, I'll agree with.
No, well, the transfer portal is the NIL. because the university can pay them so much friggin' money that like the Virginia Commonwealth cannot pay these kids what Duke can. Like fairly,
were they ever able to? Were they ever able to?
But they weren't able to pay them prior. That's what NIL is. That's what I'm trying to explain.
I guess so. If you say so.
I know they were paying them, but you had to do a lot of shady backdoor deals, and you couldn't do it as much. Now it's just open. It's open. Look at Darian
Duke was getting five 4-star kids every year in the basketball cycle. North Carolina's been getting 5-star kids.
But now they're stealing the best players from High Point.
Which is why transfer portal I do agree with. I'm saying the NIL portion of it, like
it goes. The only thing I'll say is it goes both ways though. Like for instance, like I can't remember the kid's name. He had a great year at LaSalle last year, and they knew immediately they were going to lose him. And he ended up going. I actually think he went to VCU and he got hurt and he didn't play this year because LaSalle wasn't going to be able to pay him, and VCU came in with a couple extra $100,000 a year, and they took him. So I mean. I get what you're saying. The only teams that I think really get burned are the teams at the bottom that don't have any money. Like VCU, if they randomly come across a kid that turns out to be a star and he doesn't go to the league, are they going to lose them? Probably. But they're also going to go steal kids from other places that can't put up money either. So the LaSalles of the world are the ones that really get screwed. VCU is going to be okay.
And let's talk about the other part of it that no one's actually mentioning. Let's talk about the big-time head coaches that were absolutely incredible at some of these schools. Those coaches are no longer, like, coming up anymore. Like, Brad Stevens was at Butler, and Butler was, creme de la creme. Shaka Smart was at VCU, and you don't really have that anymore. So, like, yes, I get it. Transfer portal is a thing, and, like, kids are leaving these programs and transferring up. But at the same time, like, this isn't 2005. Like there's more factors into it than just the transfer portal.
Bro, you're making it like it was 20 years ago when this shit happened. Villanova, I'm just making this very clear. Jay Wright, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, not fact. I can't speak for Jay Wright. Walked away from college basketball. He understands that the NIL is going to destroy him having 4 or 5 years.
No, he did. He's talked about it. Yeah, he's 100% talked about it. He didn't want to deal with it.
But at the same time, though, let's be honest about the Villanova program, though. The guys that Jay Wright was getting to play for him, they weren't going there to be the one-and-done kids. Like, you had the Jalen Brunsons, the Josh Harts. Like, those guys buy into the program. So, for what Jay Wright wants to do, like, NIL wasn't going to destroy that side of it because you get guys to stay there for 3-4 years at a time.
But you look at that team, but you forget Chris Jenkins. Eddie Foy would have left for more money. A lot of those guys that went through Villanova, you're right. The Brunsons, the DiVincenzos, and the Harts would have stayed.
Arcidiaconos, like
Arcidiacono, I agree with you also. That's a great core. But Randy Foy would have left.
Though, like that, like Villanova is such a needle in a haystack, like example. Like, and a lot of that was because of Jay. Like, he was getting kids that wanted to go there, get the great education, play basketball for a couple years, and go to the league. You could still do that now, but to Gene's point, you would still risk losing some of them for guys that just use Jenkins and say he didn't play his freshman year. There's some team there's some school that's still going to come throw a dramatic amount of money in front of them and try to get him to leave. Whereas before that didn't have to happen. And like I said, dude, Jay's been vocal about it. He saw what it was becoming. He didn't want to deal with it because he wasn't going to be able to run the program the way he wanted to run it, and he retired. That's just all factual. That's not talking out of pocket.
I get it. I just love the comments, by the way, Ed. Let's get in the hot wire. We're 20 minutes in. My bad.
All right, so we are going to stick with basketball here. We're going over to the women's side of things here, and the WNBA Players Association and the WNBA have ultimately reached an agreement where they will have a season this upcoming year. And, a lot of the concessions were made there for both sides. So ultimately you have a situation where the maximum now that a player will be able to make will be $1.4 million, as opposed to previously, I believe the max was at $270,000. So a significant increase there. Some of the things that will also be included in here as well is additional revenue as far as like yearly salaries going up and increasing from there. You're also going to get more charter flights for the ladies, more first class flights and things of that nature is there. And then the players sneakily kind of added in the Satu agreement there where they can no longer be traded while pregnant. Like they have like a no trade clause essentially thrown in there while you're pregnant. You're able to accept it. You're able to accept it if you want to, but you cannot be traded while you're actually pregnant. So it seems like the players, you know, they got a lot of what they were looking for. I'm not sure how much of the deal you guys were able to get into, but your thoughts on the WNBA actually having a season here and getting things done?
I want to know if a team was trading somebody, if they had to disclose if they were pregnant. I'm not even making light of it. Like I want to know.
Seems like a HIPAA violation.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I want to, like if a woman was only like 3 months pregnant and they knew, could they trade them without disclosing that?
No, they have to tell them. The medicals they have to do a medical. It has to be in their contract. There's no way it's not in their contract during that physical to let them know. Like I'll bet you there's been a player that's found out she was pregnant through the physical.
I would probably believe that maybe. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
But I'm happy to be wrong. I'm very happy to be wrong. And you know what?
I just want somebody to look it up and find out. Like that would be wild.
No, I'm happy to be wrong about the WNBA season. But you're right. I'm happy to be wrong because I didn't think we were gonna WNBA season this year. I thought Big Three was not Big Three. Unrivaled was gonna ruin it. And let's just be very clear when we say this, right? I got a chance to watch Team USA women's basketball. And man, I love the friggin' roster. It's a lot of fun to watch. I get to watch Angel, Caitlin, Paige, like the new wave of women's basketball. And I watch them dominate. And they have 2 waves of teams, which is hilarious to watch. And now obviously that will change. They'll get into their starters and rotation. But they basically go a starting 5 and a backup 5. And they play 2 different brands of basketball. Like if you watch them, it's really interesting. Like the Kelsey Plum 5, like Kelsey Paige, like that 5 playing full court press, full defense, 90 feet, like absolutely just punishing you. And then there's the Caitlin 5 that's playing like her and why am I forgetting the girl's name? Ray Burrell, like not even Ray Burrell. Jackie Young plays the first. Caitlin was second. Kiki Arira-Fan. Leah Copper. It's just very interesting to see how things break down. And it's really interesting to watch them play. I got to give credit where credit's due. That team as a whole looks like they gelled super quick, and they're incredibly talented. So I'm happy to see the WNBA back. Although this is going to be the worst WNBA draft in the last 10 years, just to be clear.
Who's able to come out? Hidalgo is obviously coming out this year. Who else is like? Who's the UCLA?
Lauren Betts.
That one. Lauren Betts is. Yep, she's out. Who else is coming out this year?
It's crazy. I think that just like when you look at the mock draft, it's got Alafam from Spain as the number 1 pick. Olivia Miles from TCU, who, by the way, made a genius decision because now she's going to walk in. But I know we didn't talk about that. I'm getting off track. But that is the most genius decision Olivia Miles made by going to TCU instead of going to the WNBA. Because now she walks into the new CBA as a rookie.
Yeah.
Genius. And she killed it. She's still killing it at TCU. But it's Olivia Miles, AZ Fudd.
AZ Fudd's going to be coming out too. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's going to be it's like a 3-4 player draft.
Next year's draft should be incredible. Hannah Hidalgo will come out next year.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. But I'm very happy that the W's back. A lot of great young talent in the W. I would hate to see them get all this momentum moving forward and then stall out in the process. And I think they agreed to a fair deal. I think it absolutely was player and union friendly.
I agree. And I think the one thing as well that is about to get wild here is that almost like all of your top players are technically free agents this year. Like, so I think you may see a complete shift of what a lot of teams look like. Of course, I mean, I'm not saying I think Asia Wilson's going to leave the Aces or anything like that, but just looking at, the free agents right now, like you got Jackie Young that you mentioned already, Jewel Lloyd, Kalia Copper, Enrique Agumbawale, you got Alyssa Thomas, you got Asia Wilson, you got Breonna Stewart. Like, these are names that have the ability to change a franchise there. So I'm curious to see what the Lays ultimately decide to do with like the new deal that's in place here, and how much money they sign for, and who do they ultimately try and team up with and things like that. But I definitely think it's a great deal, and I'm definitely excited that they got everything done.
I think the big question is, I think everybody will want to know is who Indiana ultimately goes after next year. But in regards to the deal, again, I think it's fair. Everybody's going to fly on charter flights now, which I think, should have been given from the get-go. I mean, you can't have professional athletes flying coach with, like that was always ridiculous to me. 20% revenue share. I think they probably want it more, but again, to Gene's point, I think it's a number everybody can live with, at least for the next couple of years. And, and we'll see where everything goes. 1.4, I feel like that's probably right around the revenue sharing thing. I think they probably want it higher, but again, if you're a big star, in a professional sports league, I think you should be able to call yourself a millionaire if you're playing that sport at that level. So I think it's going to allow a lot of people to what?
Especially the direction that they're headed.
Yeah, agreed. And I think if it continues to go the way that we all think it's going to, I think these numbers will change drastically when they come back to the table in the 7-year deal, I believe. Is that right?
After 2032. So I think
opt out after 2030 though.
Yeah. So,
I believe so.
And at that point, I think you'll see it increase. Already having the TV deal in place is definitely a good thing. And now we just got to sit back and watch them play. And again, hopefully it grows. So overall, I think it's a solid deal that I think everybody can go home and just at least take a deep breath with and say, now we can focus on basketball, because to both your points, the worst thing that could have happened was them not play basketball this year. So that's all gone now. You don't have to worry about that. Now you can just sit back and watch Major League Baseball shoot themselves in the foot. And then, just go ball out, have fun, play basketball, get paid, make money.
I'll say this real quick, Cottrell and Bill, great points. When you look at the landscape of the W, there's one player that's a free agent this year that I can guarantee you is not going back to their current team, and that's Enrique Agumbawale. Guaranteed she's not back with her current team. Full guarantee.
I can definitely agree with you on that, especially kind of given how that whole situation played out with Paige being there for a year and really just taking command of that team. And I'd imagine that they're going to be in line to get, AZ Fudd, who is Paige Becker's girlfriend, who's also an incredible player there. So, like, it definitely feels like that would be a move that makes a ton of sense. You get younger there. You probably go through free agency, try and get younger, bring in pieces that can build around those two. And then for Enrique, I mean, you were on a team that absolutely stunk, and you're a top 10 player in the league all day long. So why not go somewhere where you feel like you can compete for a championship and be a major factor in that?
Control. They get AZ Fudd. They're going to sign Breonna Stewart. And they're going to have a UConn connection in Dallas. And within 1 year, that team's going to compete. I want you to think about that big three. Paige Beckers, AZ Fudd, Breonna Stewart. They compete next year.
That would be nice, but I don't know if Stewie is leaving Sabrina high and dry in New York. The market being there, plus the success that they've had over the years. Like, I just don't know if Stewie wasn't on the tail end of her career, I would somewhat agree with you. But like, I don't know if you sign up for mentoring the young guns and trying to get them over the hump in your last few years in the W.
And she's firmly planted there, family life wise and everything else too. I don't know if she's going to want to pick all that up and go to move to Dallas.
I don't know, bro. Think about that connection.
I get it.
Would be cool.
It would be.
We'll see. What up, Will?
Call
All right.
collusion.
Anything else WNBA related before we move on?
No, I can't wait though. A lot of stuff to talk about tonight.
All right, perfect. So we are going to go on quietly. The NFL and Team USA had a little flag football game this past week here. And a lot of the discussions, when it was originally announced that flag football will be added to the 2028 Olympics were about, the flag football players that already play for Team USA not necessarily wanting to automatically concede their spots to some of the NFL guys. So they had a little showcase this past week, and Team USA, the team with all the flag footballers, they absolutely dominated the entire way there, and they won all three of their games. They went 3-0, and they earned $100,000 by winning the tournament. I know you guys were talking about it, in the chat a little bit, so I know you guys, saw at least some of it. What were your thoughts of, the game itself there, and ultimately just kind of thinking ahead here as well? Do you think at this point now that there should be a mix of, some of the NFL guys and then also some of the flag guys? Because I feel like before it was like, just kind of thinking off top of our heads here, like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson out there would be absolutely incredible. But then kind of seeing how the game's actually played, like, did it change any of your thought process at all?
No, didn't change my thought process at all. They don't have a full coaching staff. They don't have a full preparation. They're learning the flag rules a lot. Now, I will say this: Team USA took that shit serious. That was way more serious than the preseason or the Pro Bowl.
For sure.
Which is fun to watch, but no, it doesn't change my opinion. The best athletes are the best athletes. When they learn the game, they're going to dominate just like they dominate in the NFL. You're not going to tell me John Mechie, I don't know why you did Mechie, but John Thompson from the United States team is going to be a better option at wide receiver than Justin Jefferson. You're not going to tell me that whoever this guy is that plays quarterback for Team USA is going to be better than what Joe Burrow is going to be in flag football. It's just not a real thing. You know that. And it doesn't change my opinion one bit. Yes, they know the sport longer. Yes, they've been playing it more. Yes, they're very familiar with it. But if you give those guys 3 months to prep, training camp, plays, and really, there's no way.
Bill?
I think the one thing to realize, and I don't know if people do, it is a completely different game. So it is, there's different strategy to it. It's on a smaller field. It's on a way. The field is extremely compressed, in regards to a football field. I've said from the get-go, there's no reason for NFL players to play in this. None. I think it's something that, honestly, I would be pissed if I'm somebody that's been out there politicking for this to get added and doing this, for not a lot of money and for love of the game and competing and getting it to the point where it's the Olympics, and for a bunch of the NFL guys just to come in then and take it, and so they can say they win a gold medal playing against every other country that's not going to have professional athletes. I don't need to see it. I don't. I mean, at least for the first one, I think the guys that are on Team USA now should be the guys that play.
I mean, they did play and they lost.
What do you mean?
They played in exhibition games and they played in the Flag World Cup, and the United States lost.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know who you were referring to as they lost. I didn't know if you're talking about the NFL guys from this.
No.
Okay. I got you.
I get what Bill's opinion is. And first of all, I don't think it's right. I didn't say it was right. You're asking me what would be the better team if they tried. But the better team is going to be the better athletes. Guys, I don't care. All right, so I'll put it this way, right? I don't know how many games Trey Turner's ever played in softball. But you can put the best softball team in the world, and if Trey Turner's on the field, he's going to be the best player.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper, they're just going to be better. They're better. It's a different game. Yes. Still football.
I think, though, that, my opinion on it is that I think in some of the positions, yes, 100%, the NFL guys are going to be better there. You got it, your Justin Jeffersons of the world, your Jamar Chases. I do think, those guys are going to be important to have on the team. But I also think it's important to kind of have some of these guys that are already on Team USA as well, just because, one, they understand the nuances of the rules and things like that. But two, just kind of watching the game there as well. Like, it's not just as simple as, it's one thing to elude a tackle if you're, a Jettas or Jamar Chase and things like that. But eluding somebody trying to, rip your flag, like you talk about them having 3 months of training and things like that. Like, I think that's a lot. But at the same time, these guys have been doing it for so long. Like, they have different moves and things like that in their arsenal that I don't think you're going to learn even in the course of, doing this in the offseason for the next couple of years leading up to the Olympics. So I think it's important to have a mix of both. But I do think at on the surface, at least, you do want to have some of the NFL guys there because an arm talent like Joe Burrow, or I know Jaden Daniels played in the games here as well. He's a crazy athlete. Like, I think about a guy like Kyler Murray, who might not necessarily be a great NFL quarterback, but as fast as he is and as small as he is, like maybe he can be a force in flag football. So I would mix and match these guys there, but I think seeing this game, it doesn't necessarily fully change my opinion. But I do think moving forward, though, we should have a more open competition when it comes to selecting that team. It shouldn't just be, oh, well, Justin Jefferson said he wants to play, so he's going to be stamped on the team. I would love to have them do what, the basketball team does on Team USA and send 40 guys to a little camp or whatever, and these guys just duke it out playing games and ultimately picking who's better for the team that way. Like, I'd love to see it.
So
do you think NFL teams are actually going to let guys play in this?
That's the thing. Gronk pulled a hamstring. There's a lot of people that can get hurt, and they were playing hard out there.
They were playing hard.
Well, it's literally like the Olympics will be the last 2 weeks of July, so it'll be like a week before like they're in training camp. So to your point, like you blow a hammy or God forbid blow a knee out or something, like you're done for the year.
Yep, you're not wrong. And the thing that was the most noticeable when you watch I don't know how to explain it, the NFL players versus the Team USA was they can't pull flags.
No,
they're really bad at pulling flags.
but there's guys points though. Like you see that like when they would like try to go between people, they would get like really low to the ground. Like that's like to both your points, like the nuance of like stuff they know how to do that obviously, the NFL guys don't know yet. But I was impressed with how well it did, man. It had 300 million views across all the media outlets. That's a lot going head to head with March Madness. So there's definitely a market there for it. So you got to give Fanatics credit.
No, you don't.
Listen, why do you think all those guys were there, brother? Tom Brady wasn't showing up for for good grace.
Well, I mean, let's also be really fair here. I mean, they all go to Michael Rubin's white party every single year there, so I'm sure it didn't change a lot of relationships, things like that. And I know they didn't go play for free, but I'm just saying, Mark Rubin having the relationship with those guys is a big part of why that event ultimately happened.
Huge part. He's the one who signed the checks. I would tell you how much Brady got paid because I know it would blow your mind.
Let's move forward. We're at 7:40.
All right, last topic here, and this will lead us right into a little bit more March Madness discussion there. But Hubert Davis has been fired from North Carolina after 3 consecutive seasons of not making it to the Sweet 16. The last 2 seasons got put out in the first round of the tournament. And then another year, he got put out in round of 32 there. Were you guys surprised by this decision here? Were you surprised, 1, but 2, do you think it was the right move?
I think it was the right move, and it was the right decision. We've talked about it before. We've talked about it a lot with football. There's universities that have standards and there's levels, and UNC is one of those teams. That is a staple and a pillar of college basketball. It's one of the big 4, in my opinion. And they're watching a guy that came in, John Shire, and not miss a beat following, arguably the greatest college coach ever. He's recruiting, he's hitting Final Fours, everything else. I think the inconsistency is what ultimately hurt Hubert. I think he had the finals run, but then he missed 2 tournaments. fourth in the ACC this year, which is a little bit misleading because they were in really good shape before Caleb got hurt. But I just don't think the wow factor, and I don't think the excitement is in the program right now the way that it should be. And I think that's a lot of the reasons UNC decided to make a change.
100% need to make a change. I mean, if you watch their matchup in the first round, you can see where the change needs to be. And QB Davis, good coach, not a great coach. Good coach, not a great recruiter. QB Davis is going to find a spot at I don't want to say Iowa, but like I don't want to say like a top tier school that's
a good example.
Prestige of North Carolina.
Hubie is going back to ESPN. No reason why you don't go back.
And if he does, that's fine. But to Gene's point, I think he could get a Power 4 program. It just can't be like it can't be
Duke, North Carolina, Kansas. No, can't Kentucky. No. He's just not there, and he's not as good of a recruiter as some of the other guys are. Just is what it is. You could see it in the talent pool. He had the 1 year, and he was so lucky he kept Caleb Love. But I don't know. It just was not. It was not a thing to me to watch North Carolina play basketball. I can name 20 basketball programs right now that I think are in a better position right now than North Carolina. And you could never say that in the last 40 years.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
That is very true. I mean, especially looking at how they looked after Caleb Wilson went down. And Gene, you touched on this before we got into Hot Wire. And I get it that Caleb is a big part of what they do. And I agree with you guys that the move absolutely needed to be made there. And I also agree that I think Hubert Davis is a good coach there. But at some point, these programs that, like we were talking about earlier, North Carolina, there should never be an issue about getting 3 5-star kids in at one time. Like that should never be a thing. So you would think that when Caleb goes down, your next 5-star is like, okay, this is my opportunity to put more points up on the board there. But that just was not the case with this North Carolina team. And you kind of noticed that right after the first Duke game, if we're being honest, because it was like, all right, this North Carolina team could be for real. Like Caleb's here, like he's healthy. And then they had that spell afterwards where Caleb was out games, and they were having games against teams that aren't even in the tournament where they were, losing or, they were close basketball games. And that definitely should not be the case there. And again, like I said earlier, there's a reason why all three of us picked VCU in our brackets. And I do think a part of that is, how we saw North Carolina look without Caleb being there ultimately. And obviously he's going to go to the league next year. And so the question is, would you have wanted to go out a fourth time the same exact way because your roster had been not as talented as, years past there. And so I think North Carolina definitely made the right decision there. And a fresh face will definitely not hurt that team.
Who do you think the fresh face is?
Oh, that's what I was about to give you. I'm going to make a really ridiculous comment.
Do it.
I think Jay Wright could go there. Man. I really do. I think if you're first of all, I think there's 3 jobs in the country that have the ability to lure Jay Wright out of retirement. And North Carolina is one of them. I really believe that. And he said it.
What do you think the other 2 are?
Duke and Kansas. They're the 3 best.
Yeah, okay. And I would include if he would decide to go back to Nova, but yeah, okay, that's right. That's fair.
Of course, if you decide to go back to Nova. And by the way, what's the Nova's coach's name? What's his name again?
Kevin.
Man, he had a really bad weekend. He had a really bad weekend.
The interview wasn't great.
Yeah. And then NBA players are getting like no accountability here. I'm like, oh god. I could tell he was being sarcastic and he was annoyed, but he was being sarcastic. Yeah. But like when you say that and then you go back and lose the game, because it makes sense. They're up, they're winning at halftime. They blew that lead.
They did.
So not only did he make the comment, they pissed down their leg down the stretch, and now it gets amplified.
Jay Wright is an interesting name. I mean, but Man, I don't know if there's an amount of money that makes it happen because I think he's been approached about other things and he's just said no. But I mean,
check.
Yeah, I mean, they are one of the schools that I think could write a number down that he'd be like, I mean, we at least have to go talk about it over dinner. But that would be wild. There'd be a lot of pissed off people around here if that happens.
It shouldn't be though. Villanova is not North Carolina, and people have to understand.
I get it, dude. But like, you know how he's looked at around here, though. Like, you understand it. So, like, I'm not saying Cottrell doesn't, but like, Jay Wright is like a legend, like down here. Like,
but
he's a legend in general.
Won 2 national championships at Villanova.
I agree, bro. I agree. If North Carolina tells me they're going to pay me $25 million a year to go coach, like I don't know how you say no to that.
I think the other thing too, it's not like that North Carolina was a rival of Villanova either. Like I still think that Jay should still be revered in the same light. And I get it. You're upset that he's no longer at Nova, but at the same time, like Gene said, North Carolina is just one of those jobs where, just like we talk about it in football, Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, like this is that.
Correct.
It is.
That's like the head coach of that's like Signetti. Be like, I'm going to take the head coaching job at Alabama. Yeah. Like everybody in Indiana can't have a problem with that.
Nope. He did what he was supposed to do.
National championship. He did everything he said. Like, you can't do that.
They will, but I mean, they'll calm down eventually.
I don't know.
Cottrell, who do you think? I know you're going to say the name I'm going to say too, so I don't know why I'm letting you go first here. But
so there's 2 people that I actually think. One, I think that would be open to it. Nate Oates from Alabama. Like I think that's a name that make a ton of sense there. Obviously, super familiar with him. I mean, he's gone up through the ranks so fast because he was at Buffalo when I was at Kent, and so like I watched him coach great teams at Buffalo, and then he goes to Alabama. They lose their best player, and they're still in the Sweet 16 right now. So I think Nate Oates is a name that can make a ton of sense there because he's already doing it with whatever you give him, essentially. But then the other way that I kind of look at it too is I look at what Duke did, and obviously you kind of have to look to Duke because they went out and hired a former Duke grad there, and I was just kind of looking through like guys who would be North Carolina alums that are also coaches there. Jerry Stackhouse is an assistant coach right now for the Golden State Warriors. So I would be interested to see if that they give him a call and they want to go the alum route there. Not necessarily a sexy name, but I do think that North Carolina would be interested in the alum route, especially seeing how much success Duke has had going that route with their program.
Stackhouse, I think, is risky. For me, Nate Oates is the guy. To your point, I think if you give him UNC resources, be able to recruit, obviously be like, hey, come to North Carolina. And he, with the style of ball that he coaches and plays, you go get a bunch of 4- and 5-star kids that are going to play just up and down basketball. That could be dangerous. That could be dangerous to put somebody like that in that spot. I think it would provide. I think people would be hyped for UNC basketball next year. That's if I'm UNC, that's the guy that's number 1 on my list. And then there was, I guess, sleeper wise, I think there's a lot of weird talk about retirement and everything. It's funny, and I actually thought Gene was going to say him for a second before he went to Jay, because he said he was going to kind of be bold. I call Bill Self. See what he says.
I think the Billy Donovan being the favorite to be the coach, like he's the odds-on favorite. I don't like that. I also don't like Florida's head coach. He's like literally listed as the top. I think he just had one of the worst coaching performances. Todd Golden. I think he had one of the worst coaching performances I ever seen. We were talking about before you got on. Shout. I don't know in what world, if I'm the head coach of Florida, I lose that basketball game in regulation to Iowa. It's no chance.
Not the way they lost it, no.
Like, why are we full court pressing? Hello.
I don't mind the full court press in that it does eliminate certain things. My problem with it is if you are the guy that's going to chase the guy that everybody in the arena knows is at least getting the ball to start. You can't try to undercut it, miss, and then trail the guy by 6 feet down the lane or down the rest of the court and put everybody else in peril. That poor guy from far in the wing had no, and he couldn't. There's no right thing for him to do.
None.
He either doesn't step up and the guy just walks in for a layup, or he steps in front of him like he did, and then the guy in the corner is sitting there and has 10 seconds to shoot a three. Like that kid, the point guard for Florida, cannot get burnt like that on the entry pass. It cannot happen. And again, I'm sure they didn't draw it up that way, but I don't mind the full court press because it's again. I also think it makes kids rush things and speed things up. So I don't mind it in that aspect. You just can't execute that way. And then the play they ran to end the game was worse.
Yes, dude. Thank you. That chomping at the bit. My guy Kyle Edwards. Why have a guy on the inbounder? Have that play zone on the player everyone knows is getting the ball. I would have fouled on that play if I'm Florida. If he hits both free throws, I get the ball with 7 seconds left and we're going to overtime. There's no way I let my point guard undercut that play. You go above the screen, and if he looks like he's about to get past you, foul him. And by the way, the wrong move is made on the corner. I would have let him have the easy layup. I don't want the open three. The layup ties it.
In the moment, you're not thinking that though. That's a reaction play.
I don't know. I don't even know who hit the 3 for Iowa, but I think you also look at it as a percentage thing as well. Wide open layup is 100%. If we're being D1 kids, open layup, like 100%. You give him the 3 ball. I don't know what the kid was shooting from 3. It's going to be somewhere under 40%. Most likely, most college kids are under 40% from 3. You play your percentages there in that case. I hear what you're saying, but like Bill said, I think in the moment, like your immediate thought is, this is my job. I got to go over here and get in front of this guy.
Well, if I told you this kid's 3-point percentage, you would laugh at me. Guy's name is Alvarado Folgueras from Spain. That's the guy who hit the shot, right?
Okay.
What do you think his 3-point percentage is this year?
28.
You're really close. 32%.
So, like, again, you play the averages there. I know it's an open one. Like, I'm sure he wasn't taking 100 open ones, but
the dude could have cooked dinner before he shot it. But that's a bad way to go out. But again, I think to your point, he's going to be on that list because Florida's a great school. It's not UNC. You bring him, he probably brings a couple of those kids with him, and you let him recruit at UNC with those resources. He probably has a better roster.
Yeah, you're right.
And also, I think Todd's a good coach too. I think he had a blunder of a moment there, and I do think as a whole, college coaches should learn from what happened during the second round of this tournament. Stop putting the full court press on in these situations because it came back to burn them in that situation.
The whole game, man, it was like it made no sense because they were breaking it and getting 3-on-2s and open threes.
Yep.
The whole game, he didn't see. Cottrell, I get your point, but the instinct of a coach has to be to admit fault when fault is happening.
For sure.
And if I'm the coach of Florida and I start that way and it fails, I have to be humble enough to adjust. And because what a lot of these coaches do is they go, no, you guys just aren't running the full court press right. This is what you have to do. No. Even if they're not running it right, it's not working for your team that day. And that was very poor coaching.
I agree. And I think it's okay to admit that, but I think it's also okay to say, hey, let's not forget he is still a young coach too. And won national championship last year. And I don't absolve him for it. What did he go in the press and say?
He went to the press conference. I told him to foul. Like I told him to foul. We were supposed to foul him. He got caught behind the trailer. So he basically gave an excuse for himself, but threw his kid under the bus. And it's inexcusable to me. He's basically saying, I coached it right. They just didn't execute it right.
But if that's ultimately that's what you said you would do, like you would follow in that situation.
I would.
And if he
never
coached
went
it that
under
way,
the screener. Him going under the screener. If the coach goes, don't go under the screener. Make sure you keep him in front of you, and he goes under the screener. Yeah, the coach gets put in a bad position. But the reason I don't believe that the coach did that is the entire fucking game they did the same thing, Kittrell. It wasn't like there was 3-on-2s that entire game.
there was.
But that's just my. Can you pull the bracket up so we can see who's leading the bracket so far?
Absolutely. So go ahead, throw it up here. We got my man Eric Rosenblum.
Eric Rosenblum. Squeak
Yeah.
Gopher, my guy. He got 2 out of 3. And Shally.
Then Bill's right there. Hey, I'm close. We're 10 points behind, and I got a higher max. So
My national champ. So thank God. And here's the truth, right? No, I'm serious. I can share it with you if you guys want. In my 2 money brackets, I picked Florida to lose in the Elite 8 to who's in their bracket? Houston. And I have Arizona winning. And I'm in first place in both of them. This is my free bracket, and this is my main bracket, which I should be judged by. But thank God. Because I looked at the other brackets, I'm like, oh, great, I'm screwed. But yeah, I have my national champion's gone.
there's some other national champions going to, well, Wisconsin being there is kind of wild, but
Squeak did like 5 brackets.
fair.
So he just picked different national champions. By the way, I think that, listen, make it very clear. Squeak wins, he deserves it. I'm happy for him. But when you pick 5 brackets and Shally picks 1 or Cottrell picks 1, and one of his 5 beats you, I don't know. I kind of give it to the guy that has 1 bracket. You know what I mean?
We'll see what happens here. Him and Bill got the same national champion there, so they're going to be tight.
For 2, so just be clear. It's not his first bracket.
Yeah, no, I see.
Also, that says Uncle Shally 3. I don't know how that works.
Did he take different national champions at all?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
He has. You can see it around the screen. He has Michigan, Florida, Wisconsin is one. Whew. That's right.
Right away.
Toast.
Guys, this weekend we got a lot. Before we get into the matchups, do you want to knock out trivia now, and then we'll get into matchups and then opening day?
I'm down. Let's do it.
Boom, 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 boom.
Turn off my comments.
And with me being as prepared as I am, I kind of had a feeling this is where we were going to stop. So, of course, the question today is going to be college basketball related, and it's going to be related to March Madness.
Okay.
We are going to go with the top 10 coaches with the most wins in the March Madness tournament.
Okay. Did I win last week versus you?
2 weeks ago, yes.
Okay. So I get to go first, and I'll take a low-hanging fruit. I'll take Coach K.
Coach K is at number 1 with 101 wins.
Insane. I'll go Bill Self.
Bill Self is at number 2, 3. He's at number 7 with 58 wins.
Jesus.
7. Roy Williams.
Roy Williams is number 2 at 79 wins.
I'll go Izzo.
Tom Izzo is at number 6 with 61 wins.
It's a great one.
Tied for 5th.
Give me Coach Calipari.
John Calipari is tied with Izzo at 61 wins.
Who's around for a really long time?
I have a name, but I'm really worried. I don't know how long's March Madness been around.
Yeah, that's what you got to watch.
You know what I'm thinking?
Yeah, I think you would have been said by now. I will go. I'll go Rick Pitino.
Rick Pitino is at number 8 with 56 wins.
What's the oldest coach on the list?
It's not hint time.
John Wooden.
John Wooden is at number 10 with 47 wins.
Sneaking in there. That's what I was. That's why I said when is Mark greatest coach of all time?
Yeah, it's a matter of. I was wondering how many of them were going to overlap that he would get credit for.
Correct.
You also have to realize. So, just looked it up here while you guys were doing it. March Madness was started in 1939, but you have to realize that tournament wasn't always as big as it is now. So, like back then, they were playing. It was like 8 games, or yeah.
Makes sense.
How many are left?
You got 1, 2. Is that it? You got 3 left. 3 left.
What? Do we not miss yet?
You have not missed yet. You're missing number 3. You're missing number 3. You're missing number 4, and you're missing number 9.
He's got to be on here. I'm going Dean Smith.
Dean Smith is number 3 at 65 wins.
I'm thinking. Did Bill Self sneak on the list?
Bill Self was already said.
Damn. See, I don't listen when Shelly talks.
It's not nice.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Relax. I don't want to say that. What numbers am I missing?
You're missing number 4 and number 9.
See, I think 9 could be. I have 3 names, but only 2 spots.
Okay.
I'll go one of the 3. Give me Jim Boeheim.
Jim Boeheim is number 4 at 62 wins.
I have 2 names for 1 spot.
Bill, it is on you, my friend.
One guy I know had some success. I just don't know how many times he made the tournament. And the other guy is more recent. Had a lot of success, but
sounds like we're talking about the same 2 people. I don't want to say it.
It probably is. Don't
say yes or no. Just let me, because when he gives his name, don't say yes or no.
Okay.
I'm going to go with what I know more of. I wasn't even born for a lot of the other guys' stuff.
That's not what I'm thinking of then.
I'm going to stay in the Big East. I'm going to go with Calhoun.
See, all right, so Calhoun's not on my list. That's not one of my 2. You can say yes or no.
Jim Calhoun is on the list. He is number 9 he had 47 wins. 51. Sorry. 51.
I literally had 3 darts and I hit the 1.
Well, don't say anything. What are we doing for a tiebreaker? So don't say anything out loud.
Tiebreaker, I have it's something completely. What?
Why don't you go 11 through 20? Whoever gets highest, we get 1 shot.
We can do that too.
I mean, is the tiebreaker?
I gotta get the. No, I mean we can go that route. I just got to get the full list here because I cut it off at 12, so that's fine.
You cut off at 12. So we didn't hit 11 or 12. Oh, I get it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
We haven't missed yet.
You have not.
It's kind of crazy. I have two names I should have met 100%.
You're gonna have such a big advantage, but go ahead. You went first, so it's your choice.
Well, what do you mean big advantage? There's two names in my head.
I really only have one. I think the other guy is a flyer, so I'm not even sure. But I think you're going to say the other. I think your other guy's same guy as me.
So one guy's the nicest guy in the world. One guy's the meanest guy in the world. They're my two names.
There you go.
That's my two names. That's where I'm at. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I know one of them.
So I know one of them too.
Well, the one's Jay Wright. The other one's Bobby Knight. I'm going Jay Wright.
Neither one of those are the next name up.
So Jay Wright was my pick. It was either going to be Jay Wright or Bobby Knight.
And neither one are our next one up.
There you go. It doesn't have to be next one. Whoever's highest on the list. One shot. So if he gets higher on the list, he wins.
Bobby was the other name I had in the chamber, so I'm going to go with Bobby. Just hope he has more wins.
Like I said, I'm getting the list pulled back up here, the full list.
Oh, so you just have 11 and 12?
Yep.
And neither one of them are 11 and 12. Let me ask you a question. Is 11 and 12 very gettable?
I wouldn't have got this for a long time.
Okay.
So
let's just go with who's higher. Is that fair, Bill?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So just Google the two that we have and let us know who's higher.
All right. So we'll go here. And
Clay Bob Knight's in the top 10 anymore, though.
all right. Where did I get the list from? There. Boom. Go down. All right, and so what were the next guesses? So you got Jay Wright and
Jay Wright. We said Bobby Knight.
Okay, I got it. Now I got to look individually there because I'm not seeing them in the 11 through 20 range here either.
That's crazy.
But we'll double check it here. Madness.
Oh, I got another one I can use. I bet you John Chaney's up there, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he made a tournament every year. He usually only won like a game, but I mean, he had a couple Sweet 16 and Elite 8 runs.
Do you remember the most famous John Chaney moment of all time?
Yeah, we went after fucking Calipari.
I kill you. I'll kill you.
All right. So this is officially between Jay Wright and Bobby Knight, then, is what we're saying for the tiebreaker. All right.
Yes. Yeah, I'm cool with it.
All right. So Bobby Knight was actually omitted from the list. He wasn't in the top 10, but he is actually sitting at no, he's not in the top 10. Not in the top 10. He is sitting at 45 wins there. That would have been good for 12th. Jay Wright is actually at 34 total wins in March Madness.
I was between Jay Wright and Bobby Knight.
But the guy who's actually ahead of Bobby Knight is one Lute Olson.
Oh, that would have took forever.
I wouldn't have got that.
That's what I said. That would have been one of those ones that would have been
until you said Arizona. Probably that would have took a while. He died recently, I think, too.
He died in 2020.
Yeah.
Other ones up there. Denny
He's
Crum.
a good ass coach.
Denny Crum is up there.
Denny Crum.
Billy Donovan's in there. Jim Phelan is in there. Thad Mata is right there with Jay Wright. And Tony Bennett. Also,
I would have struggled outside the top 10. I'm so glad the top 10 were very big names.
Yeah.
Because I would have struggled.
Which is why I didn't have the tiebreaker going down further in the list. Kind of stopped it at 10 there.
12 for 12, though. Just saying.
10 for 10. But
yeah, but I mean.
And Bobby Knight being 12, which is awesome. It's really good. All right, guys, we're going to move, though. Let's go into what we have so far coming up for this March Madness. Can you pull up the bracket?
Absolutely. Give me 1 second here. What do you want? You want to see? You want to see like the full
preview the games? Yeah, like go like to our updated Final Four, because obviously we all had Iowa versus Nebraska in our brackets.
Yeah, absolutely. You didn't know that? All right, so I will go ahead and share my screen.
Trash Nebraska all year. They're sitting in the Sweet 16. They might make the Elite Eight. It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely are the better team between them and Iowa.
Iowa's scrappy, though.
They are. Kid Stoltz can play ball.
Yeah.
First of all, I have 2 brackets perfect. Perfect. I'm perfect in this bracket.
The Duke St. John's?
Yes.
Arizona, Arkansas.
I don't think I have Arkansas.
I give Duke St. John's a month.
100% Duke St. John's.
Kansas, man. Kansas, they had it. They stormed back.
I do have Arkansas, but that's fine. I still am going St. John. I'm telling you something right now. No player that won 2 games had a worse weekend than Mr. Boozer, because he looked awful versus who'd they play in the first round?
Siena.
Terrible versus Siena. I mean, he didn't look great versus TCU.
No, he looked bad versus TCU.
But he looked terrible versus Siena.
That lineup's just not the same. I know they got the big guy back, but he only played 13 minutes. I mean, he's not going to be to the point where he's playing 25, 28 like he was before. So, I mean, that St. John's is playing as good as anybody right now. So, it's going to be really interesting. Those guys are playing with a chip on their shoulder for sure.
But if we're being honest here, though, I think a part of me is a little bit more confident now in Duke that I know Cam Boozer hasn't been playing well, and they still have been finding ways to generate offense. Like I get it, the cohesion definitely has been different there for this Duke team, but I do think if you can get away with Cam Boozer having I'd say a D and a C game, then if he can step it up against St. John's, you should be in for a dogfight.
But if he has another C game, they're going to play a really elite team that's probably going to hand it to them too.
And I think Zuby's going to guard him. And I
would expect that.
And I think if Zuby guards him, he has no way to get to the rim versus Zuby. He has to shoot, and he's scared to shoot. He was literally scared to shoot. I've never seen anything like it. Guy's going to the NBA, and he looked like friggin' Ben Simmons at the free throw line. He's like, I don't want it. He's wide open free throw jumper. Didn't take it. Like multiple times. This should be like, bro, he looked really bad. I'm going St. John's. I have St. John's in my bracket. I'm picking St. John's. I think they win the game. I think their perimeter defense is good enough to slow down the guards, and I think Zuby wins the matchup with Boozer.
I agree. I think Zuby is playing with a guy that looked like he got scorned from a lot of awards and everything else, and I think Pitino is going to come out with something to disrupt them as well. Giving him 4 or 5 days to prep, you can think what you want of him as a person, but he's a really good basketball coach. I don't think Shire outcoaches him, so I like St. John's.
I don't think he has to outcoach him. I think Duke's going to have too much talent. Obviously, I know St. John's is talented there as well, but I am not expecting Cameron Boozer to look like what we saw out of him in his debut in the tournament, his debut weekend in the tournament, I should say. So I like Duke here to advance. I think you see Cam Boozer looking like the Naismith Player of the Year that he rightfully should be.
Next matchup.
On the right side there, you got Arizona and you got Arkansas.
Are they? I thought we were staying in the same bracket though.
No, we can stay in the same. Yeah, we can stay in the same bracket here. We can go over to UConn and Michigan State.
I didn't think UConn, with missing 2 starters, would be able to make it here. I thought UCLA would beat them. I really did. And UConn pulled away in that game late, and they were obviously better coached. Give Dan Hurley all the credit in the world. I think UConn blows out Michigan State. I don't think this game's going to be close. UConn's going to get their 4th starter back. They're only missing 1 starter when the game starts. I think UConn blows out Michigan State. I don't think Michigan State's that good. I think they had a little bit of an easier road. North Dakota State, and I think Louisville's a very, very light 6. I got UConn. I think UConn wins the game, and I think they win it handily.
I think they're a light 6 without Michael Brown, but I think with him, that game would have been a lot different. And even still, like, the X factor in that game was Cohen Carr being able to get to the rim and get every dunk imaginable in that game. And I don't think UConn's going to let that happen. So I think Michigan State is a very one-dimensional team in the sense that if you can get them to start taking some outside shots there, that's not what they do. So Fears has been playing incredible. He's been setting guys up. He set the Michigan State, record for assists in a game there, in a tournament. And so I give him a ton of credit there, but I do think Hurley's going to come out with a great game plan here. And Gene, I'm with you. I think this is going to be a double-digit UConn win.
I'm going to agree with you both. I think UConn wins. I don't think they blow them out. I don't think it's a nail biter either. I think it's somewhere in between. I do like the UConn's going to get a little bit more healthy. Fears is playing out of his mind for Michigan State, but I'm going to go back to piggyback on a little bit of what both you guys have already said, and I've said it all year long with watching Michigan State. When they can't establish their inside game, which they're not going to be able to do really against UConn. UConn's definitely the bigger team. They don't shoot. They don't shoot well. And to both your points, if you force them to become a perimeter jump shooting team, they struggle, and they struggle mightily. I think they're really going to keep – I don't think they're going to keep Fears off the ball, but I think they're going to limit what he does. And to Cottrell's point, I think Hurley's going to come out with something to take him out of his game even more. I think UConn wins.
All right. I'm going to go over to the West here. Arizona, Arkansas.
You've been waiting to talk about this one.
I'm itching.
I mean, Arizona wins the game. They're the better team. I fully understand you have Arkansas in your finals. I think I had Arkansas making it here. If I didn't, it's probably because I thought High Point would win multiple games. I doubt it. Arizona's too big, too strong, too fast, too athletic. They're better. Arizona.
I think it's a great game. I think Arizona probably wins by like 4 or 5, and it's just it's that margin the whole game. I think Arkansas will stay in it. I think their offensive pace at some point is going to give Arizona a little bit of problems. The biggest thing that could tilt this for me is Arizona has to establish their inside game right away because, believe it or not, much like Michigan State, they don't shoot the ball well from outside, from 3 and out. And they actually take the least amount of threes per game than anyone in the country. They only average like 5 a game, I think, something like that. So if Arizona can get up or Arkansas can get up and down and stay in this game, I think it could get interesting. But that being said, Arizona is where they are because of their bigs, because of how physical they are on the glass. And I don't think Arkansas is going to be able to stop that. I don't think Arizona is really going to have to come out of their normal game plan for this. So I think Arizona gets it done.
You guys know where I'm rolling, who I'm rolling with. I got Arkansas in this one. Darius Acuff's averaging 30 right now in the tournament, and I fully expect him to keep that rolling. I know Arizona has the bigs there, but Darius Acuff's done it, against pretty much every team that they faced there all season. So I get it. This is going to be a tough uphill battle, and it absolutely, will be. It'll take everything out of Arkansas to get it done. But I think, at the end of the day here, if you start to focus on shutting down Acuff, you're going to get more open threes, and you should get open threes with that being the case there. And I do think Arkansas has the talent to compete with Arizona. The game is tight down the stretch there, and it's one possession basketball game. I want to go with the team that has the best player on the court, and for me, I think that's Arkansas. So I'm rolling with Arkansas in the matchup.
Remember, this ain't High Point or Hawaii. Arizona's going to be a lot better defensively.
I get it.
And High Point gave them everything they wanted. And more.
High Point was happy to get in a track meet with them too. Arizona's going to do different things. I just think the well-roundedness of them is just going to be too much.
Moving on here, Texas, number 11, getting from the first 4 to the Sweet 16, taking on 2-seeded Purdue Boilermakers. How do you guys see this matchup going?
Glad I listened to my own advice for once. I'm going Purdue. I think they have too much skill. I know what Texas is almost like a poor man's Arizona or Florida or Michigan. They have bigs. They're not great defensively. They're definitely not great offensively, but they cause problems. I think Purdue's just got too much experience and too many ways to score. I think Purdue pulls out a squeaker.
This is the easiest game to predict in the second round. Matis, whatever his name is, the kid. He's dominated versus two teams that did not have a center that can stick up with him. Kaufman-Renn will be a center that can stick up with him. And I do not think he'll dominate. I think that Purdue wins this game by double digits. Don't think it's close. I think Braden Smith had his worst game of the tournament, and they still won by 10. I love Kaufman-Renn. I love Braden Smith. I love the Boilermakers here.
And I got the Boilermakers as well. Clean sweep here. I do think Kaufman-Renn will be a force that Voiktitis just has not seen so far throughout the tournament there. And, I give him credit because, he's definitely stepped up and he's been a force for that Texas team. And I also think it's one thing, too, is, we see it often with the first 4 teams that win. Like, they go on a little mini run. Like, we saw, like, the one team that comes to mind for me would be UCLA, a few years back when they were an 11 seed and they went all the way, I think, to the Final Four there. Exactly. So I think, once you actually get the momentum rolling, you got your legs under you, things like that. Like, momentum plays a big factor in it. But in this situation, the guys have gotten back to campus and they got to go back and they're going up against a team that I think is a bad matchup for them. I like Purdue to take care of business and, just pretty much roll in this one.
Let me be very honest with you. I was very shocked that Texas beat BYU. I watched that game and I thought AJ Dabanza would you could tell me his name a million times. I still can't say his last name. I don't know if it's like a tongue twister for me, but
AJ?
Yeah, AJ
Dabanza. That's all.
The bomb.
I don't. The next game, another one. I don't think it's particularly close in Michigan, Alabama. I think it's a very, very bad matchup. Alabama has went through Texas Tech, who is missing their best player, and Hofstra. They're going to go against Michigan, who has all the bigs in the world, all the length in the world defensively. Alabama wants to run. Michigan is going to slow them down and grind. Look for Alabama to finish in the 70s, Michigan to finish in the 90s.
I don't have much else to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why I got Michigan going to the title game, and I don't think Alabama, especially without their best player, is going to do much to stop that. So I like Michigan here as well. I do think this is another one that has the ability to get out of hand rather quickly.
Agreed.
Other one in that region, Tennessee versus Iowa State.
Before the bracket started, I picked Iowa State in this game. But after the injury to Iowa State's best player, I don't think he's going to play. I'm going to go with Tennessee. Corey, I told you guys about Gillespie. That kid has been incredible. He was next level in both games. You still haven't seen a really good game out of Nate Ament in this tournament. I think Tennessee wins this game. They're the best defensive team in the country, and that's the team that you're going to have to slow down Iowa State. I like Tennessee to roll to the next round.
The injury definitely factors in here. In half my tournaments, I took Tennessee. The other half, I took Iowa State. I think this has the ability to be the best game of this round. It's going to be kind of a cat and mouse game. The way Iowa State plays a really weird defense. But the one thing you really do need it to excel against it is have good guard play. Tennessee is too. But I think if Tennessee takes care of the ball and they can shoot it deep, they don't got to shoot lights out. But I think if they shoot decently, don't turn the ball over. Gene mentioned that they're one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the country defensively. I think they take care of business here. I think Tennessee advances.
Not so fast, my friends. You guys are talking about Joshua Jefferson potentially not playing this game. I feel like he's going to get shot up. They're going to give him everything possible.
Not going to be 100% if he plays
to get him out there on the court. And I 100% agree with you. He won't be 100% in that game there, but I do think the threat of what he can do is still going to be there, and I think it has the ability to cause Tennessee some problems there. And so I think this will be a great basketball game. And the injury definitely makes me a lot less confident in Iowa State. I do think this is a 50-50 game here, but I'm going to roll with Iowa State here. I think Joshua Jefferson guts one out, and Iowa State ultimately wins a really tight basketball game. I think this has the potential to be the best game of the weekend.
I hope he plays because I go
right at him.
The senior Joshua Jefferson versus the freshman Native Men, because that's exactly who will be lined up against each other. Yep. And that's what dreams are made of in March. You see a freshman that's going to go top 10 in the NBA draft, and then you have a senior who's absolutely skilled, came from a small school, transferred to Iowa State. Joshua Jefferson does it all, defensively, offensively. It's the matchup that you want to watch in March. But if his ankle is not there, Native Men's going to beat him off the ball every time. So I like Tennessee.
All right, then we just got the last region over here. We got the South.
We all predicted Iowa, Nebraska, obviously, guys.
Iowa versus Nebraska. This game's probably going to be insanely. I don't know where they're actually playing at, but I mean, they could all hop on the same bus to get there.
The crazy part of that is Nebraska is traveling like these are absolute home games. It's in Houston, but it's in the Toyota Center they're playing. If you watched Nebraska's games in this tournament so far, it is full home game for them. I've never seen a fan base travel more. I think the games were in Oklahoma City. I granted that's not too far from Nebraska. It's like 6 hours though. It's not like it's around the corner.
It's drivable though.
Okay.
Well, I mean, listen. I mean, I think you have to look at. I think it's one of those things that people think like Nebraska doesn't have like rabid fans. I mean, if you watch college football, you know how crazy they are. They're also a school that's kind of middle of nowhere. So like everybody in that area, no matter what, is just a Nebraska fan. They showed up, they packed the football stadium with 100,000 people for a women's volleyball game. They have good fans.
I know they do. My point was watching them play versus Vanderbilt, it was in a home game for them.
Yeah.
And I'm shocked that they beat Vanderbilt. And like I said, I thought that walk-off three-pointer was happening. When I seen that ball go up, I'm like, oh, and it hits the backboard, the rim, oh man.
Yep.
I'm going Nebraska though. Nebraska wins this game. I think they're more fundamentally sound, but yeah, it's gonna be a good basketball game. I think this will be the most entertaining game to watch.
It will be. Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, they're same conference too, so this will be the third time they've played each other. It's probably gonna get a little chippy. And you're going to see two teams that are really familiar with each other at this point. So there's not going to be a whole lot of stuff either team is going to do that's going to surprise the other. I like Nebraska's defense better. I think the higher this game gets scoring-wise, the more it favors Iowa. I think if it stays in the 60s and 70s, then Nebraska's probably winning.
It's funny you say that. They played twice. Nebraska beat them 84-75, and Iowa beat Nebraska 57-52. So that's contrary to what you just said.
It is. Stand by what I said. I said what I said.
No. I'm just saying.
Well, you guys know I'm the Iowa hater. I mean, not the Iowa. I'm the Nebraska hater on the show here. I'm going to continue to pick against them. They're probably going to keep winning, but I think the one cool thing that I didn't even realize until actually watching the Iowa Clemson game is it just finally dawned on me because they said it during the broadcast that Ben McCollum is the coach that was at Drake when they were winning 30 games a year and making it into the tournament. Like I didn't realize that he was their head guy now. So Ben McCollum is an absolutely phenomenal coach there, and definitely give him a ton of credit and all that stuff there. But I think this is a game where the familiarity definitely matters. I think it's going to be a tight ball game. I think you're going to be in the low 70s, maybe high 60s in this one. But I think Iowa's going to do enough to just steal one to make it on to the Elite Eight, because I will be damned to see Nebraska or to pick Nebraska to make it to the Elite Eight when I've been calling them frauds all year.
Last game.
Houston, Illinois.
Bad matchup for Illinois, bro. Illinois is a very good 3. Houston's just better. I think they're better everywhere.
They're just going to struggle against Houston like they did against the teams that play really good defense in the Big Ten. They like to drive, crash the boards. As soon as they play the team that can stay in front of them and rebound, they struggle mightily. They don't have a great inside presence. Down low defensively, Houston's always big. Houston's always long. I think Houston's just better as well, like Dean said. I got Houston.
So I have Houston winning this game as well. But see, I disagree, though, with the sentiment that, Houston is just like a bad matchup for them. I think Illinois got enough guys on the team that, they shoot the ball well enough where, I think they're going to have an opportunity to stay in this basketball game. And especially like we talk about Houston every single year within the tournament, they got guys that out there on the perimeter. They play a very aggressive brand of defense, and I 100% understand it. And that's why I think they are as tough as they are. And I'm picking Houston to actually win the basketball game here. But with that said, though, I just think Illinois, they have the talent offensively to keep this up here, because we've seen them play tough teams, all throughout the Big Ten. And to your point, Bill, I think they're actually, battle tested. Like I look at games against like Michigan State, for example, and they've been able to get out a game against Michigan State. Like they got matchups against Wisconsin and Purdue. So like I don't know. I think this Illinois team is going to be up for the task. I just think ultimately at the end of the day, Houston's a better team.
Nobody said they were getting blown out. I just picked Houston to win. I think it's so funny
that you said Michigan State, though, Cottrell, because I look at Michigan State as the poor man's Houston. Like they're very point guard dominant. Just Houston's just a better version of Michigan State, right? And what happened was Fears, just like Kingston Flemings, is able to get whatever he wants versus Illinois. And I think that Kingston Flemings has his best game in the tournament, and I think Houston wins the game by 7. I got it 89-82. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think that's what you're ending at.
I see it. I think Andre Stojakovic, Page the Sun's going to have something to say about how tight this game is down the stretch there. He had a great game off the bench against VCU, and he's been playing well. So curious to see the matchup. That's all.
All right, guys. Any changes in your national championship? I'm just going to give what my national championship is on my other bracket. I'm sure you guys aren't changing anything because you guys didn't have Florida, right?
Nope, I had Duke and Michigan.
I had Florida against Michigan.
Oh, okay. So who do you have? Who's your updated finals now?
I guess I'll go with UConn.
I have Arizona Houston. That's what my other bracket is. So Arizona Houston is my updated finals.
Nice.
But let's get into a little MLB. It's opening night. Opening day tomorrow. I hate the opening night if I'm being completely transparent, but
same.
Opening day is opening day. Am I wrong to think that?
No.
But opening night MLB action. Let's talk about the NL West. Let's talk about a little NL West. I mean, obviously we can do our full predictions on the MLB season next week where, we division winners and all that jazz. Yep. But let's give our NL West team and then we'll give them their free pass into the next round of our matchups because they're not losing. They're not losing to the AL West.
That's a fact.
I'd like to see where we differ though, because I got not an argument, but I got into a debate with someone when I was putting this team together.
My team is very chalky per se. So
Well, you say chalky, right? And I would love to argue. Trust me, I would. So there's no argument at catcher. It's Will Smith.
Correct.
Agreed.
Okay. First base is where you get the first argument. Do you still have Freddie, or are we going Rafi Devers?
See, I have Freddie.
I'm sticking with Freddie for one more year.
I'm with it for one more year, but there's an argument there.
I agree.
There's no argument at second base. The best second baseman in all baseball is Kettle Marte.
Yep.
Agreed.
We're not arguing that.
Nope.
Then it becomes a crazy, crazy debated shortstop. And I'm sure you both have Mookie Betts written in, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Guys, Perdomo had a better season than him last year, and he's younger, and he's a bigger part of his lineup. Mookie Betts has really kind of fallen off that cliff. And I love the kid. I do. Not kid. He's not a kid. He's an adult. I love Mookie. I'm going to go Mookie. That was my debate. But when I looked up everything, Perdomo finished what? Like 4th in NL MVP last year? I mean, there's a real argument for Perdomo.
There is.
Mookie Betts.
I mean, what's his face from the Giants? I mean, is a top tier shortstop. So I mean, it's I think a lot of thing with Mookie last year was he was banged up a lot. If you get a healthy Mookie, and again, once you start getting your early to mid 30s, that's not always guaranteed, and especially playing at a more physical position like shortstop, it can get dicey. I would just say I know what Mookie's ceiling is, and if he gets anywhere close to that, I don't know if Perdomo's there yet, especially offensively. Mookie can still put up some wild numbers.
One of the clutchest hitters in baseball. Guy didn't strike out at all last year. The guy Perdomo was incredible last year. Geraldo Perdomo has gotten better every year, and it's not like it was a fluke, right? He's just gotten better. Last year, he just added the power. He added the slugging. That was the big jump for him last year. His contact rate was always good. His hard ball rate was always good. He just added the power finally. We'll go with Mookie for another year. You guys both have him, but there's going to be a serious conversation next year with Perdomo or Mookie Betts.
I think next year is probably definitive unless Mookie has a wild year.
Okay.
I mean, I also think that there's an opportunity for the Dodgers to move Mookie out of the shortstop spot too. I mean, it's not like, he's not one of those guys that is stuck at a position per se. So I do think he would have the opportunity to go somewhere.
He wouldn't start at second base. For the NL West team, I'm not kidding with you. Mookie Betts, the only spot he would start.
Oh, I agree.
Shortstop. He would not start over Kettle Marte, and he would not start over any of the 3 outfielders right now.
I agree.
Nothing against Mookie. Love Mookie. I've always been high on Mookie. Third base. Any debate? Manny Machado?
I mean, I have Manny. I mean, if you're going to make the argument, you're probably arguing Matt Chapman.
Yeah, I got Manny as well.
I mean, Matt Chapman's a better defensive player than Manny is now, but Manny's still just so consistent offensively.
It's so funny to say because Chapman is a better defensive, but I don't think Chapman can make some of the plays that Machado makes. I think Machado, here's how I say it, right? I think Chapman's the most consistent defensive player.
The smoothest, if you will.
Machado makes these plays that are just, especially the backhand down the line where he throws off his back foot 190 miles an hour across the diamond on a strike. Like it's like
him and Nolan Arenado are the 2 best I've ever seen do that.
Yeah, that's insane. Outfield. I didn't really find a debate here. It was very easy for me to put it together. I'd like to hear you guys first to see if you guys have anything different than me.
I got Corbin Carroll, Fernando Tatis, and Kyle Tucker.
Same. Okay. Shohei is our DH.
What?
Shohei is at DH.
Shally might have somebody different.
No, I'm shy. Stop it.
And starting pitcher. Here's your argument. Here's the debate. Is it Yamamoto or is it Logan Webb?
I got Yamamoto.
So do I. Just to see if Bill
Logan Webb is really good. He's more of I don't want to call him a grinder because I feel like that's a disservice. But he's not. Yamamoto is the guy, like, he can be electric. Like, bring him in and be like, dude, like, I need you to go strike the next 6 guys out. Like, and he could do it. Logan Webb is more of a strategic pitcher. Yamamoto's got 5 pitches he can throw for strikes, all of them hard, make you look silly. He's got better stuff. I love Logan Webb, though. I actually wish Logan Webb would get out of San Francisco.
Like I said, my team was very chalky. You didn't hear any debates from me because I thought this list was actually, of course, I can definitely hear your argument at shortstop, especially with the age disparity between the two. But I mean, really outside of that.
I'm never going to come on a show without a little debatable topic. I'm just not.
I get it. I get it for sure. I'm just saying that this one is, for me at least, have been the easiest list to put together.
The closer's easy too. Closer's very easy. What?
I said I didn't even put my closer down.
I'll bet you it's very forgettable because he's never played in this division before. The closer in this division is Edwin Diaz.
Where's Edwin at now?
The Dodgers.
Dodgers, yeah.
Dodgers, bro.
Forgot. He got signed, yeah.
And by the way, them signing Edwin Diaz might have broke Roki Sasaki. If you guys watch Roki Sasaki in the preseason, he's been awful, bro. Terrible.
I mean, making that transition to being a starter is and going to be interesting for him. And I also remember, like, early on in Yamamoto's career, how much he struggled, and we were like, did they?
Roki was the one that was crying at the beginning of the year. Do you remember Roki crying at the beginning of last year?
I do, yeah.
Mentally, he's not as tough as I thought he was.
I don't know if I'm taking Diaz, bro.
Who are you taking a closer over Edwin Diaz?
I think I'm taking Mason.
Oh, Mason Miller's best closer in baseball. I don't know why we didn't. You're
Yeah,
absolutely right.
He's on the Padres now.
The problem is, I think he's their 8th inning guy.
No, I think they're only going to use what's his face if, like, you could see. The hell's his name? Hader. I think you could see him probably a lot against the Dodgers, against all those goddamn lefties. But I think the majority of the time, I think Miller will be the guy.
You're absolutely right. Mason Miller's closer, best closer in baseball. Mason Miller's not only the best closer in baseball, he's the best relief pitcher in baseball. I think he's top 7 pitcher in baseball.
They gave him a lot to get him.
You're absolutely right. I don't know how I forgot. You know what I did? I looked at the team's closers, and I didn't see Mason Miller listed as the team's closer.
Makes sense.
Guys, opening day. MLB rosters. I don't want to go too far because we're going to do a full preview next week. It'll be a good portion of the show. But what I would like to get is your NLCS, ALCS, and World Champion before the season starts, before a game is on the books. We'll break down divisions, we'll break down those things, but I would love to get your World Series prediction and just give me who over who.
I'm thinking who I want to go in the. All right, I got mine.
I hate where I'm going, so go. Somebody go.
All right, so in the AL, I'm going to take the Seattle Mariners over the New York Yankees in the ALCS. And then in the NL, I'm going to take the Los Angeles Dodgers over the San Diego Padres. And then I got the LA Dodgers over the Seattle Mariners for a three-peat and a lead into the MLB being locked out because of it.
I have in the AL, I have the see this is what drives me nuts. I have the Seattle Mariners also over the Boston Red Sox. In the NL, I have the LA Dodgers over the New York Mets. And in my World Series, I have the LA Dodgers over the Seattle Mariners.
In the
I
AL,
think, just to be clear, I think the Yankees fall on their face this year. I really, truly, genuinely believe that.
I'm the exact opposite. I usually feel that way. I think they have enough pitching now. I have the Yankees coming out of the AL. I have them beating Boston in the ALCS, though, which will be a lot of fun if that's the way it ends up. I have the Dodgers over the Phillies in the NL, and then the inevitable is going to happen. The Dodgers winning again. So let me go into a lockout, and I can just slam my head through a fucking wall.
We'll do a full MLB breakdown next week, so we left college basketball to talk about. Definitely wanted to bring it up because the opening day tomorrow is one of my favorite days of the year. I go into work early, get done like maybe a little early. Hopefully my boss not listening. Watch some Philadelphia Phillies baseball at 4:00. I'll probably end up watching 3:00 baseball. The baseball's on all day. I love staggered schedule. You can get multiple TVs, you get multiple games on. Phillies open up versus Texas Rangers. Nathan Eovaldi versus Christopher Sanchez. Hopefully, Phillies
newly re-signed Christopher Sanchez.
Will Tyler O'Neill hit a home run on opening day for the 7th year in a row?
No.
Who are they playing?
They got the Twins.
See, that's gonna be. I'm going no as well. I'm assuming what's his face is pitching for Minnesota.
You know the difference between the Detroit Tigers and the Pittsburgh Pirates? The Pirates are concerned. The Pirates are concerned with how long they can keep Connor Griffin without arbitration, and he doesn't make the opening day roster. And the Tigers want to win, and Kevin McGonigal makes the opening day roster. McGonaghy is the number 2 prospect in all baseball. Connor Griffin, the number 1 prospect in all baseball. One made the roster. The other one's being sent back down. One's on a better team. The other one's not on a better team. And one team wants to win, and the other one's concerned on how long they can keep you hostage. This is why the Pittsburgh Pirates, which, by the way, Pirates have one of the best farm systems, one of the best young teams in all baseball. You got Bubba, Skeen, Connor. That team is going to be so good if they stay together, and they're just concerned with how long they can keep you on the roster.
No shot that team stays together because Paul Skeen is going to break every goddamn record in the world when he gets to free agency.
But
in Pittsburgh.
But I think another portion of this though is that we know the lockout is going to be inevitable here, and if they add in the floor, and Pittsburgh is like, all right, well, we have to pay somebody. And I'm not saying that they go hard cap, but if there is some sort of, semblance of a ceiling there as far as the salary goes, I would not be surprised if Pittsburgh said, hey, we're going to put all of our eggs in the Paul Skeen's basket. Not saying that Paul would go for that, but I'm just saying I think the lockout may change the way Pittsburgh does things because they have to.
Here's the only way, and I agree with you, the only way that happens is if they sign everybody before him. Like, there's no way his agent lets him sign on the dotted line without those guys extended.
100%.
Be like, hey, put your money where your mouth is, and you extend all these guys and let me stay here and let us keep growing and getting better. Then you got a shot at keeping them. If not, no way. No agent in the world is going to let him sign some long-term deal and get stuck there.
Watch this, Gatrell. Watch this. Sally, I want you to answer yes or no. Okay?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Does Pittsburgh have a top 10 baseball stadium in the country?
Oh, yeah, it's number 1.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Do they have a top 10 fan base, the city of Pittsburgh in the country?
I'm
talking
like
about baseball.
overall, you're talking about for baseball.
No. Overall
Football.
fan base, Pittsburgh.
Football,
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. Do they have a top 10 farm system in the country?
Right now, yeah.
The owner and the general manager is just getting in the way. You have the sports fan base, you have the town, you have the pedigree and the Steelers and the Penguins, you have the prospects, you have the stadium. Stop getting in your own way.
I think it's a GM per se. I think it's more the owner.
Again,
but
it's getting in their own way.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be it's going to be interesting. I hate the arbitration rule thing. I mean, there's no reason he shouldn't be on the roster, especially after the spring training he had. But
it blows my mind that because he'll be up probably April 29th, whatever that.
Yeah, the first day they can bring him up.
Whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, you look at what's possibly going to happen. Now he doesn't get a full year for this year. If they get locked out next year, now he's going to be a 24-year-old just getting into his prime, and they're still going to control him for 5 or 6 years.
24-year-old. He will not be a 24-year-old.
How old is he now?
He's 19.
19, so he'll be 22. So even better. You 22-year-old that in 4 or 5 years could be the best player in baseball, and you have him under control for that long. So,
and he's very.
I've said it before, man. I joke about it, man. If I hit Powerball for $1 billion, I would try to buy the Pirates.
That's the organization to buy too.
It is.
You can make that.
You get your money back.
I would literally through contacts try to get like a group together, and I would literally try to buy the Pirates. And it would kill me. It would kill me to make myself a Pittsburgh fan after being a Philly fan my whole life. But I think if new ownership came in there with Skeens, with Connor Griffin, with all those guys, and showed that like they're going to spend money and they want to win, to Gene's point, with that stadium, with that fan, if that place was packed every night, like people would go there. It's a great, and I hate to say it, it's a great city. If you've never been there, it's a cool city. Like it's all there, man. It's a guy that's not
bumfuck Idaho. Pittsburgh is a huge city. It's not like bumfuck. We're not talking about Idaho.
It's not.
No, it's just not Philly. It's not New York. It's nothing like that. Yeah, but it's still you still get a big city feel to it.
I'm just trying to troll him. I said it's not Cleveland. I said it's
not Cleveland. The same size. It's probably smaller.
It's a way nicer state though.
Just watch the opening credits of Major League. Nobody would ever go to Cleveland if you watch that movie. It's the most impressive thing ever.
Quickly. I want to go over our NBA MVP, and I brought this topic up for awards for a reason. Quickly, guys, the NBA MVP is already decided. You're welcome. It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's not what I'm considering.
Barring injury, yeah.
Barring injury,
and he missed time this year.
He's only got like, if he misses 3 more games, I believe he's out of contention. I believe it's 3.
My question is this: Judge, jury, executioner. He misses 3 more games this year. Who is your MVP of National Basketball Association? What do you mean it's easy? I'll argue with whoever you pick.
I don't know if it's easy. I think you could say 4 names that would all make sense.
It's easy. I mean, it's easy for me.
I feel like
if you're saying he's ineligible.
Yes.
If Shai's ineligible, yes.
No,
I don't think you're as plugged in as you think you are on this topic.
You claim I was plugged in. I just know who
I mean that in the sense that you're going to say Nikola Jokic, right?
No.
Oh, okay. I apologize. I'll shut up.
Why? Because I'm white?
No, because you constantly pick Jokic to win the MVP every year.
Because a lot of those years he should have won it.
You're not wrong.
Whatever. Not all fat white guys go together for everything, Gene. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous statement to make.
I modeled my 2K player around Jokic.
For me, it's Wemby. See, who's plugged in now? The big fat white guy.
said you were a big fat white guy?
You did.
God. Wemby is my pick. I love that. That's not who I thought you were going to go with. Wemby would be my pick. They're 3 games out of the 1 seed in the West. He's been incredible. He's going to win DPOI. So there's no argument over who's the better defensive player. It's Wemby. Who would your pick be, Cottrell?
See, I would probably lean Wemby, but with that said, though, like I said, I would have like 4 guys that I truly think you can make the argument for.
AD.
Jokic, of course, would be one of them. Jaylen Brown is another one. Cade Cunningham would be another one, and then Luka Doncic would be the other one that I think you all put them in the same category. And I think you're looking at it like, what do you value the most, right? Because I think Jaylen Brown, I look at the Celtics situation, and it's like they're in the, I think they were in the 2 spot for a large majority of the season before Jason Tatum got back there, and we were talking about the Celtics team like they're going to be a play-in team, and they've just been absolutely incredible, and it's been on the back of Jaylen Brown. But then I also look at Detroit, where they've been the 1 seed, and a major part of that is Cade Cunningham. And so I'll be curious to see how Detroit really starts to look as a whole while Cade is out in this span here. I also look at, of course, the Lakers with Luka Doncic, and he's been absolutely incredible. LeBron has truly turned into a second, third option on that team. It is without a doubt Luka Doncic, best player on that team, and they go as he goes. And then, of course, with Joker, when he's playing, I mean, the Nuggets are absolutely incredible, and he's right there with
almost,
and he's right there with Shea as far as the games missed go there. But when he's on the court, he's been absolutely special this year, as he always is.
14, 10, and 9 in the first half yesterday. Like, Adrian texted me, he goes, the easiest bet you can ever play is Jokic over an assist tonight. He had 10.5. He had 10 at halftime. Like, I think Jokic is up there. I think Luke is up there. And I'll say this, and I don't mean this in disrespect. I know you're going to take it as that. The Lakers are 100% a better basketball team when LeBron James doesn't play. I don't think they can go further in the playoffs without LeBron James, but they're a better basketball team when LeBron doesn't play. I think LeBron 100% locked in playoffs. It makes them the best basketball team they can be. But like during the regular season haul, when the whole offense is running through Luka and Austin Reeves is playing off of it, and they're running that high-low game with DeAndre Ayton, dare I say, with Marcus Smart being that like tough guard that plays with that 3 that gives them that defensive presence, they're a better basketball team when LeBron is not playing basketball right now.
I definitely disagree with that statement, especially
12-2 without him, bro. When Luka plays and LeBron doesn't.
Yeah, but you also got to look at they look good when Luka doesn't play and LeBron and AR both play. Like they've started to figure out how to have all 3 of those guys play at the same time is really what I was getting at. And I think you kind of have been starting to see that with the win streak that they've gone on. I know it was at 6. I don't know if it's still going on right now, but all 3 of it had been a tough time. It had been a tough time getting all 3 of them on the court at the same time. And when they first started playing together, JJ they couldn't figure out who got the ball, who brought it up, who ran the offense and things like that. But as you see, like as the season has gone on, I do think they've gotten a lot more chemistry there. I do think long term, though, of course, LeBron not being on that team is going to be a better play for them. But I think right now they're starting to figure out how to make this thing work, at least for the rest of this season.
It's funny because Embiid and George came back tonight, and Embiid had 35 in 3 quarters. And you look at what's
really?
going on. Yeah. He's done. He's done. They're up 40. But it's funny, and the reason I brought that up was it's funny because Luka's got 39 in 3 quarters right now. It's very interesting. Like, I cannot believe they lost to the Pistons 2 nights ago without Cade, with all 3 of the Lakers, big 3 playing.
Yeah.
I'll be very interested to see how Cade progresses through his injury because the Pistons as a whole are so well coached. And on top of them being well coached, I know you're not a big JB guy.
No, but, I am. I'm just saying, I think I think playoffs are different. I look at him as great regular season coach, but not the guy you want necessarily in the playoffs. I forgot who we talked about somebody like that on the NFL side of things. But I can't off the top of my head, it escapes me.
Kyle Shanahan. But that is what it is. But when you look at some of these teams getting ready for their playoff runs, I think that you're seeing a Spurs team. You're on a crash course for Spurs Thunder. And give me Spurs Thunder. Please give me Spurs Thunder in the Western Conference Finals in a 7-game series. Let me watch Wemby versus Shea. Let me watch Chetton and Stephon Castle. Let me watch like that go down. Let me watch the two deepest teams play in a 7-game series where the Thunder, you don't know if you're bringing AJ Mitchell or Jarrett McCain off the bench as your 8th guy. Like, it's insane the depth on these teams.
For sure. I mean, I think the one piece of it too that is kind of going to be interesting come playoff time is the matchup for Denver, right? Because I think the Thunder would absolutely want to, and they will, because they're going to be either the 1 or the 2 seed, but they're going to want to avoid the Spurs at all costs there. But I'm curious to see where the Nuggets fall. Are they going to fall on the side of seeing the Spurs in the second round, or are they going to fall where they see the Thunder in the second round? Because I do think the Thunder have the potential to ruin all of the dream matchup of Spurs Thunder there.
You know, it's funny because the Lakers surpassed the Nuggets by a huge 9 out of their last 10, and they passed the Nuggets for the 3 seed. So that'll be fun. You got Lakers, Nuggets battling for that 3-4 seed. The Spurs are only 3 games behind the Thunder. I'm not saying it's not inconceivable that they can't catch them.
No, but who's ever in that 2 seed is probably salivating getting the Lakers as their second round opponent versus having to play Denver.
Correct. But if you're in that 3 seed, though, and this is the thing you have to understand, I don't know if the Lakers win their first round series versus the Rockets. Now, granted, the Rockets have fallen apart like I predicted they would since the Kevin Durant comments.
No, JJ's on the Rockets as of late. I think
yeah,
they can lose to the Rockets. Don't get me wrong, but that's not even the Lakers have a better team. That is, as much as I love, Ime, JJ has put on a actual coach's clinic the last few matchups against the Rockets. So give him a ton of credit for that matchup.
Right. It runs through Sengun. They get Sengun in these high-low matchups, and he gets abused. It's not that's where and then they let Amen Thompson just shoot. They're just like, bro.
Yeah.
Have fun with your foul line jumpers.
And how they've been playing KD in the pick and roll, like they've had an absolute plan for it on the flip side of it too. So I just think I'll give JJ his credit. We all talked about how much of a joke we thought it was, him getting hired from the ESPN broadcasting booth. He's definitely shown that he can throw some wrinkles in there, and he's definitely a solid coach in the league.
Let's get into You Gotta Be Kidding Me.
All right, so this week had a few to really choose from. Let me get it pulled back up here. I'm going with the most recent one that I've seen, and this is the world of grass ping pong that Gene likes to call it. We're going to the soccer ranks here. And there was an article that came out today on Bleacher Report that said Real Madrid scanned Kylian Mbappe, who is widely regarded as one of the best soccer players in the world. They scanned his uninjured right knee, leading to a misdiagnosis in which he played 3 games on an inflamed knee. A follow-up scan was done on the correct leg, and it showed a partial posterior knee ligament tear. Following the news, former Real Madrid nutritionist posted on her social media claiming that the team would use a free version of ChatGPT to provide supplements to players. Now, that story sounds so unbelievable, but at the same time, if you follow what's been going on, Mbappe's been hurt. He's been out of a lot of matchups. And, I know me and Bill had kind of talked about that, I think a couple months ago regarding, the injury that he ultimately had there. But for you to be in one of the top organizations in all of the sport there, and for them to not even scan your proper knee, and you're going out there just making things worse at that, and it's not just anybody. We're talking about the top guy in the sport. This is absolute malpractice, and I can't wait to see what else comes from this story here, because I think this is just, we're just scratching the surface here with it. So for me, the situation at Real Madrid with Kylian Mbappe and scanning the wrong knee and having him still out there playing on a bad knee.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
That is shocking to me, only because those big clubs spend so much money on physios and like the guys get like the little bit of like especially a guy like Mbappe, like you said,
cut on your toe,
boom, shut him down. Like, you're not even imaging the right knee. That's wild to me. But I don't have one.
I got one. I have one. I have video with it.
How do you keep them out?
I'm not firing my staff because we've
Not now.
Yeah, I am, because we've given up 8 points on underneath out of bounds defense. So the only thing I'm gonna do is fire them and get a new staff.
Mark Ziegler saying in the Union Tribune, you just mentioned making changes to your staff. You gave a
it's a joke.
well, that's what I want to ask you about.
Listen,
You gave an interview during the game. It went viral. You're being criticized pretty heavily online.
I don't care.
It's a joke.
Welcome to my life. It's a joke.
Welcome to my life. Bro, you're the head coach of Villanova basketball. I don't take this the wrong way, and I think Shally can 100% agree with me. The head coach of Villanova basketball might be one of the cushiest jobs in the country. It is literally, you have some of the most richest donors. You have the most beautiful campus. The entire area is beautiful. You are given one of the best facilities to play in. Welcome to my life. Man, look, I can understand the joke. I'm going to fire my staff because we've given up this, and that. But you can't make that joke, not have any accountability in the press conference for making that joke, and blow a lead down the stretch in that game. You have to have some humility. So for me, this week, Kevin Willard, Villanova basketball.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Can't make that joke. And then not blow in the press conference and have accountability for the joke.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the joke. I think it's got it, like you said, you have to have a completely different tone in the press conference about it, though.
Speaking of coaches that had a bad weekend, the one I almost used for my other one was the Syracuse women's basketball coach. I'm not sure if you guys saw what she said, but she said for just backstory here, Connecticut has beaten Syracuse the last 3 times that they, got put out in the tournament. And she went on her press conference and said, for us to continue to come to Connecticut year after year, to me, is a personal attack. After being in this business for 37 years and have to come and be in this bracket every year is unacceptable. It's wrong. And that to me is that they saw the bracket and they're like, God damn it. Second round, we're getting put out, guys. We're going to go out here. We're going to try our best. But like, that just feels like one of those quotes where you were beat before you even stepped on the court. Like that's a mental thing 100%. And I get it. It's a frustrating to see UConn, but that's not the way you say that. You definitely say like, UConn's a great team. It's unfortunate we keep running into them, but give credit to their staff and just go from there. But to say it's unacceptable or it feels like there's like a personal attack on you because of that, like that's wild.
You know, you can fix that, Control. Win more regular season games, and you won't be in any contract.
That's also true.
I mean, it's not like it's gonna be any better if you go down south and get knocked out by South Carolina every year, too. Like, what's the difference?
Or if you go out west and UCLA smacks the shit out of you with Lauren Beth.
Like, I think that, like, to your point, the bigger issue is you're the 7 seed every year. Be better, and then then at least you can make it to the Sweet 16 before you get smacked around.
Yeah. Did want to bring up something with the women's bracket. Guys, I'm going to make this statement as a fat man. I'm overweight, right? I'm losing weight, but I'm overweight, right? We're not going to pretend I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not overweight, right?
Where is this going?
An interesting start. Please.
Audrey Crook will not make it in the WNBA.
Who?
Audrey Crook.
Audrey Crooks
will not make it in the WNBA. She got absolutely, and everybody's talking about their performance, 37 and 15 in a loss. She got absolutely cooked. The coach, I forgot who they played, but the coach from the team that they played, Syracuse, ran the same offense, the same play, like 12 times in a row. Foul line jumper, foul line jumper, foul line jumper. She's the worst defensive player in the country.
Without a doubt.
It's not close. Now, she's unguardable in the low post, but when you go, and I'll take a control line. When you go up against 18 and 19-year-olds, that shit works. You go into W against grown-ass women, that shit's not going to work anymore. Am I wrong, Cottrell?
You are not wrong. I think
on Asia Wilson like that. I promise you that right now.
That is a fact. There's gonna be a market for her. She can have a role, but she will not be able to see the court consistently with that kind of play. And she has the offensive talent to be a top 5 pick in the W. But like you said, defensively, she is an absolute cone. And it's one thing to be a cone, but if you actually watch her play, it almost feels like an effort thing. And it may be a thing where she can't move, but it looks like she's just not even trying out there. And that's
why I prefaced what I was about to say.
and that's the tough part.
I didn't want to say she couldn't move. I didn't want to be that guy.
I mean, it's call it like it is.
It's like me guarding you in basketball. You're a lot quicker than I am. Like, let's just be very honest.
But I think the best thing for her, I think at this point, is she's going to need to go to a program where they are super strict on her. I think
you're strict on her what?
Just strict on her, period. Effort is going to be a big factor. I mean, she doesn't necessarily need to lose a bunch of. I don't think she needs to lose a bunch of weight there. I'm saying I think she needs to be better at moving her feet. She's got to be better at being available on defense for her team.
She knew what I was trying to do.
Oh, I needed to end that way.
Just like for the record to show, I didn't say anything negative about this young woman on this show. Do not come for me.
Hey,
oh man,
no program. Leave here.
Oh my god, I'm in tears, guys. Any final comments?
No,
I got nothing.
Fun show. You guys all have UConn winning the women's bracket, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Do you think they play a game within 15 points?
Yes.
10 points.
Let me go back to my bracket here. I got them winning the whole thing, but yes, another 10-point game, yes.
I don't think they have it. I don't think they have a single-digit game.
All right, let me go over to my women's team. 99.7th percentile, by the way.
It's really not hard to do that. Just pick all the favorites.
It's more than that, but
bro, my bracket's like 99.9. I think I have every pick right except 3.
Yeah, but you had a lot of
matchup.
If you stick with chalk in the women's, you're never gonna have a bad bracket. Let's put it that way.
I mean, you had some upsets, but neither here nor there. UConn, they got North Carolina. Then they'll probably have Vanderbilt. The Vanderbilt game will be tough. Then they'll got probably South Carolina in the Final Four, and then either Texas or LSU. Yeah, I think the Final Four and the championship will both be
LSU.
I do on that side. Yeah,
UCLA is going to come out on that side.
Texas.
You've not watched Lauren Betts, bro.
Lauren Betts is incredible. What do you mean I have Lauren Betts is in the Big Ten? Of course, I've seen Lauren Betts.
She's incredible.
Texas is, to me, I think the second best team in the country.
Okay.
Got Booker. Booker's going to go on a run.
You know, it's funny. Oklahoma played UCLA tough for like, I don't know, a quarter and a half. That was fun to watch.
I think Michigan still is giving UConn the best game they had all year so far.
Well, they lose by 13.
No, that's by like 6, I think.
That's incredible.
That was like in December though. That was
3.
Yeah.
it was an incredible game. I saw that one literally from start to finish. That was, I want to say it was in December. It may have even been in November. It was early though. It was very early.
Just
Then
listen.
UConn too.
Just listen to his dominance real quick. They won by 38. They won by 43. They won by 39. They won by 49. They won by 45. They won by, I'm doing really math, 36, 32, 43. Oh, there's a 14-point game. Good job, Villanova. 15, 50, 32, 30, 46. Jesus Christ. 40. Dude, this is insane. It's got to be one of the greatest runs ever. They're beating everyone by 40. So Michigan playing them a game within 3. It's like, go Michigan. You know what I mean? They won every game by 30 to 40 points.
Yeah.
Insanity. Any final comments, gentlemen?
Got nothing. Still.
Love it. Appreciate you guys tuning in to Wire2Wire Sports Podcast. I'm the NFL GNC all like that's Kent State's own, Cleveland's own, College Control, Uncle Shally, Scholastic Shot, Mr. William Shawcross, and we are signing out.